Hello, Mary Jo Foley.
Hello, Leo.
We're back at the Build Conference, Anaheim. Mary Jo looks like a Loudermilk.
It is. This is Travis Loudermilk,
Hey,
who's
Travis.
the co-host of the Windows Phone Dev Podcast.
Awesome. I am amongst royalty today. I am super excited.
Well, I was just going to say how much I enjoy the Windows Phone Dev Podcast. You do a great job, and I can't wait to hear the episode you recorded yesterday from Blogger Bash.
That's right. We had a really great time at the Bash. We had all the great Microsoft bloggers like Paul and Mary Jo here. And it was really great fun. There's a lot of folks that are excited, obviously, with all the developments this week. And my brother and I, Ryan, he's clearly the brains behind the operation. But we had a great time. It's a lot of fun.
Now, you guys, of course, focus on Windows Phone 7.
Yeah.
You must be pleased, though, to at least see the Metro interface.
Oh, yes. Yeah, absolutely. We obviously, our focus is Windows Phone Dev Podcast, but we're more than just developers. We're also, enthusiasts, so our show is great for enthusiasts, too. And we focus a lot on the Metro language and what that all means. And you can't help this week but chuckle a little bit. All the Windows Phone developers we've been talking to, we kind of laugh a little bit because we've been using this UI for almost a year now. And so it's funny and really exciting to see folks react so mostly positive to the way Windows is going to change for them. And that opens up, obviously, folks to take a second look at the phone and see what's going on there. So that's always exciting from a Windows Phone developer standpoint.
Yeah, and it's a big theme here at the show this week, and there's a number of sessions on what can you do if you're already a Windows Phone developer in terms of getting your existing apps running on Windows 8 or building brand new apps for Windows 8. And it's interesting because there are a lot of things that are common and a lot of the skills are common. So I was hoping Travis would say a little bit about that. How hard or easy do we think it's going to be for those people to make the jump? And what do you think?
I think it's going to be very easy. We, as developers, we know XAML. Obviously, we know .NET. I don't think that this new Windows runtime that they're introducing, they call it WinRT, I don't think that's going to be a great leap to have to learn that or transition to that. We had Brandon Watson, who you've had on the show. He came by. He's the director of the developer experience, and he's a great evangelist. He came on the show at the Blogger Bash, and he made a great point. He said, listen, you can start building Windows Phone apps right now.
You mean Windows 8 apps right now?
Well, you could build Windows 8, but if you're not ready to do that, you could build Windows Phone
I see,
apps.
and get started.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you can get started because, it's very, very, very similar. You can get introduced to this Metro language. You can start looking at what your app is going to look like, how it's going to feel on the phone. And I think the transition is going to be very, very easy. Now, they haven't been very clear as to whether or not the Windows Phone apps will run on the tablet. I did notice something interesting when Sinofsky showed the store. There were Windows Phone apps in the store, which was kind of interesting, and a lot of folks pointed that out. Now, whether or not you could download them from the store and run them on the tablet, I haven't found anybody that's tried that or if that works. But I think the game plan here clearly is that Microsoft, they've been touting the 3 strings in a cloud for a long time now. It doesn't behoove them to have developers that have already embraced Windows Phone to have to now transition to something entirely different. So I've got to imagine that the game plan is to make sure that these apps transition very nicely.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I was hearing from some people saying, I don't think it's going to just be you take your Windows Phone app and it automatically works. No one thinks that. I mean, because of the screen size and other reasons too. But they're saying you can preserve a lot of the code. And it shouldn't be really difficult, at least in theory, right, to take a Windows Phone app that you've already developed in Silverlight and get it to, or XNA, and get it to run on the tablet. But here's one thing we don't know, right?
Yeah,
is XNA.
I was going to say, yeah. Well, pump the brakes on XNA because we don't really know where XNA fits in Windows, and they haven't been very clear.
XNA is kind of considered a game developing language, right? For Xbox.
Sure.
Yeah.
For Xbox developers, that's correct. And so there's been a lot of trepidation and kind of concern for XNA developers saying, well, you really haven't been talking about that, and how is that all going to fit? So, the theme of the blogger or the Build conference this week is use what you know and build what you've always imagined. And I think this is something that Microsoft doesn't get a lot of credit for from a developer standpoint, is that they've always worked towards giving developers great tools that allow them to build applications that traverse many of their properties. And they're doing, I think, obviously I'm an enthusiast, a bit of a fanboy, but I think that they're doing a really great job, and they just continually get better. We got some sessions on Visual Studio, which is their developer tools to do all of these great things. And with the embrace of HTML5 and JavaScript, I mean, they're really opening up their tools, their platform to really welcome as many developers as possible. And I think that's a good strategy that other competitors don't necessarily always embrace.
Yep, agreed.
Well, good. That's exciting. Travis, it's great to have you on the show, and thanks to your brother, Ryan. I presume you guys are brothers, not just a coincidence you have the same name.
No. No.
Because that would be a pretty wild coincidence.
We are both big fans of the show. We're big fans of Twit, and it's absolutely an honor. And we'd hope to see you again, possibly.
WP, well, please do come on again anytime you want. WPDevPodcast.com.
And we're a podcast for developers, but also enthusiasts. So if you're really excited about the phone, we do all of that good stuff. So check us out.
And I can tell you right now, Travis, that's exactly why we didn't do a Windows Phone podcast, because we knew you guys had it under control.
Hey, anytime you want to have us do it on Twitter, we'll be more than happy.
We could talk. That's a good idea, actually. That's a great idea.
Hey,
Thanks, Travis.
Thank you.